Hello, Creative Gems. Welcome back to Creativity. And if you're new here, I'm Sandy. In today's craft projects, we will be featuring a variety of dollar store mirrors and these wooden blocks, also from the dollar store. These are just like Jenga blocks, and I found these in the toy aisle at the Dollar Tree. Each box includes a total of 72 blocks, but for our first mirror that we're going to be making today, we'll only need 16 of these blocks. The first thing I'm going to do is wrap the block in my favorite silver rhinestone trim. This trim is self-adhesive and it actually comes in different sizes, so you can cut them to size. I love how easily you can wrap the trim around the corners because the trim is very flexible. So I've got 4 of the smallest sides done, and now I'm going to go back in with a wider strip of the same trim and cover one of the larger sides. And by the way, if you would like to stock up on this trim, I'll leave a link to it down below in the description box along with all my other favorite craft embellishments. Take a look at how pretty this is, and notice how I left the other side untouched. That's because we'll be gluing this down onto something else later. So now that I've got one done, I'll follow the exact same process to wrap 15 more of these wooden blocks, and then when I'm done, I'll show you what we've got. Okay, so it didn't take too long, and now I've got a pile of these wooden blocks wrapped in bling. And as I mentioned earlier, we want to keep the bottom unwrapped so we can glue each block down later. In fact, we will be gluing them down onto this round wooden tray, which I also found at the Dollar Tree. These trays are typically used for resin pouring, but today we're going to use this as a base for the mirror we're making. So I've removed the plastic wrap, and now you can see this tray has a nice small ledge all around the side. What I'm going to do first is cover the sides with the silver chrome card trim. I'll just peel off the backing because it is self-adhesive, so I can simply stick it directly onto the side of the wooden tray. Now you may notice that the trim is a bit narrower than the side of this wooden tray, so what I'm going to do is apply it flush to the top of the wooden tray. And when we're done making this mirror, you won't even notice that the trim didn't cover the entire width because this mirror is going to be hung up on the wall anyhow. So while I work on this, I would like to take a moment to thank you for tuning in to today's craft project. If you enjoy glam home decor and DIY crafts on a budget, please let me know by hitting the subscribe button. And if you like what you see today, please give me a thumbs up as well so YouTube will continue to recommend my channel to other viewers like you. Okay, so now with the trim applied, this is what the wooden tray looks like. And as I mentioned earlier, this mirror will be hung on the wall. So what I want to do now is flip this tray over because the next thing we'll want to do is install an anchor onto the back. I took the cardboard backing of one of my other Dollar Tree frames, and here I'm cutting out one of the metal hooks. I'm purposely cutting around the hook, leaving about a centimeter or 2 around the hook. Once I have the hook cut out, I'll use 2 types of glue to adhere it to the back of the wooden tray. First, I've got my fix-all, which is a super glue, so it's going to give a very long-lasting strong hold. But I'm also going to add some hot glue because hot glue cools and dries within seconds, which means once I have this stuck onto the wooden tray, we won't need to wait overnight for the fix-all to fully cure before we can continue with the rest of this craft project. So now with the anchor secured to the back, I flip the wooden tray back over, and now we can take all the blinged out wooden blocks we worked on earlier and start assembling them inside the wooden tray. All I'm doing is placing them all in a circle, and I know I mentioned earlier that we would be gluing these down, but as it turns out, 16 of these is going in really snug, so I don't think I even need any glue to keep these in place. But of course, if you prefer to secure them down, a tiny bit of hot glue is all you'll need to ensure each piece is kept in place. Okay, so with the middle empty, you probably already guessed what's going in there. I found this round black frame mirror at the Dollar Tree, and I think it's going to fit into the empty space perfectly, frame and all. But the frame is too dark, so I'm going to use my metallic chrome paint marker to paint it. I'll start with my metallic silver marker, and then I'll go back in with my metallic gold marker for the edges and sides. Now, I know some of you are going to tell me I should just spray paint the whole thing, and you're right, I could do that, but then I would have to spend time taping off the mirror because this mirror is going to be two-toned, silver and gold. So it would actually take me much longer to tape this mirror off, apply the silver paint, wait for it to dry, go back in to tape off the silver parts of the mirror, then spray paint the gold to the rim and the sides of the frame. Wait till that dries and then remove all the tape. And plus, I'm generally not a big fan of aerosol anything, so I'm just as happy to use these paint markers to get the job done. And as you can see, these metallic chrome markers are really good quality, and you can see the glossy sheen finish it gives. I actually think this finish is much glossier than the spray paint that I have tried, which always tends to come out too matte for my liking. I'm almost done now, and all that is left are the sides, which I'll paint gold. Then I'll come back and we'll insert this into the tray. Okay, so here's the painted silver and gold mirror. It's already dry and looking beautiful, so we'll just pop this into the middle. And that's a pretty snug fit. Now, to finish off this mirror, I want to build a border, kind of like a second frame, adding pieces of these silver plastic spoons along the ridge of the wooden tray. Many of you who have watched some of my other craft tutorials already know that I'm a huge fan of using these silver plastic spoons as embellishments. All I'm doing here is breaking the spoons apart to separate the handle. I'll need 11 of the handles, but I'm also going to keep the round part of the spoons because they'll make beautiful embellishments for a future craft project. So make sure if you're going to make this mirror that you don't throw any of the unused spoon pieces out. On this craft channel, I aspire to zero waste as much as possible, so almost nothing gets thrown out. Now that I have a pile of the spoon handles, let's go ahead and assemble them around the wood tray, just to be sure we have enough. I typically like to lay everything out so I can figure out the spacing before I glue everything into place. So with 11 spoon handles laid out now, I can go ahead and tweak the spacing to make sure that each handle is spaced evenly apart. Once I'm happy with the spacing, I'll go ahead and glue each down with some hot glue. I'm going to apply only a tiny dollop of hot glue to the areas of the spoon handle that will make direct contact with the wooden tray. You want to make sure you don't overdo it with the glue, or you'll be left with globs of glue all over the wooden tray, and that would not be a good look for the mirror. So while I work on this, comment down below with the word mirror and let me know where y'all are tuning in from. I would also love to know whether you're a crafter like me or if you just enjoy watching craft tutorials. Leave me a comment down below and let me know. It didn't take too long, and now we've got all our spoon handles secured to the wooden tray. So now let's go ahead and hang this up on the wall and show you what it looks like. I've added this mirror to my gallery wall in the dining room. Take a look at how the bling-wrapped wooden blocks glisten. I actually don't think the camera is doing any justice whatsoever because this mirror is absolutely sparkling, especially when the sunlight hits those bling-wrapped wooden blocks. But the only thing is this mirror is a bit on the small side, especially against the large gallery wall. So what I'm going to do is take this back to my studio and we're going to continue to build it out to make it larger. To make the wall mirror larger, I've got this extra large wired wreath ring from the Dollar Tree, and this one is 14 inches, and I think it will be the perfect backing to place our mirror onto. I've got this placed onto the table with the curved wiring facing upwards. Then I'll take the mirror we just made and place it in the middle, being careful to position it into the center. Now, because this wired wreath ring is not perfectly rounded, I'm just checking to see exactly where the mirror backing makes direct contact with the wreath ring wires. And then I'll go ahead and secure the two pieces together with some hot glue. The great thing about using hot glue to adhere the two pieces together is that hot glue bonds metal and wood together extremely quickly and extremely well. To finish off this mirror, I'll add some more spoon handles that we broke off earlier by gluing them all around the wreath ring. I'll secure them into place on a slant so there will be areas of each spoon handle that will make direct contact with the wreath ring. Now, if you want more of a substantial border framing the mirror, you could actually go back in and add more spoon handles to create a crisscross pattern. But for mine, I'll just leave it as it is. I'll finish this up and then we'll hang it back onto the wall. So while I finish up with the spoon embellishments, comment down below with the word mirror and let me know if you have ever completed a craft project, put it out on display only to take it back to your craft room or studio to do more work on it. I find that I've actually been doing that quite a lot more lately. In fact, I have taken floor vases that I have made and turned them into table bases for a side table. I've also converted some of my floor vases into candle holder pillars. In fact, it's pretty fun how creative you can get sometimes when the original vision of your craft project shifts and changes. So before we hang this mirror up, notice how there's a lot of glue strings left behind because of the hot glue. It almost looks like little spider webs, but I'll easily take care of that by using my dry paintbrush to remove those pesky glue strings. I'm just twirling the brush around the glue strings and gently pulling back the brush to remove the glue strings. And then when we're done, this is what the final mirror looks like hung onto the wall. I think this version of the mirror looks much more substantial, don't you think? Yet it's still very lightweight and hung on the wall very easily. And here's the mirror from another angle, and you can see a couple of the other mirrors beside it on the gallery wall. And by the way, if you would like tutorials on how to make some of the other mirrors I have on my gallery wall, I'll leave a link down below in the description box. In the meantime, I want to show you how to make a grid mirror by grouping together a bunch of smaller dollar store mirrors. I found a bunch of these gorgeous mirrors at my local Dollarama, and I knew I had to make a grid mirror out of them. Each of these mirrors only cost me $4 each, and so I grabbed a total of 9 for my grid mirror. These mirrors are already beautiful on its own with silver studs and mitered corners, but a bunch of them together will look even more stunning as a grid. Flipping to the back, each mirror comes with an anchor and a thick cardboard backing, which will make this project super easy. So what I'm going to do is lay all the mirrors out face down onto the floor into a 3x3 grid pattern. When placing the mirrors down onto the floor, make sure all the edges are flush to each other so you'll get a straight line from top to bottom. We want to avoid having mirrors jutting out. Now, with all the mirrors laid down, I'm going to double check the placement of the anchors. We want the anchors to be accessible from the sides of the grid mirrors so we can easily hang the mirror later. Now, to secure the mirrors, normally I would slap on a single piece of plywood and call it a day. But unfortunately, I don't have any plywood big enough, so we're going to have to get creative with what I have, which is these 4 by 4 inch pieces of wood tiles. What we're going to do is strategically place them down across the seams between two mirrors like so. And notice I'm being careful not to place the wood pieces on top of the screws. That's because later on when we secure the wood pieces down, we want the wood to lay completely flat against the cardboard backing of the mirrors rather than on top of the screws, which may be slightly raised. And speaking of screws, I'm also going to go back in with a screwdriver and tighten the screws to make sure none of them unexpectedly pops out. Now that we have all the wood pieces laid down and all the screws are tightened, it's time to secure the wood pieces down. For this, I'm going to use two types of glue. I'll use a super glue like Fix-All to ensure we get a very secure, long-lasting hold, but I'm also going to go back in with some hot glue so the wood pieces will adhere immediately. This is because hot glue cools and dries within seconds, so I'll be able to get this grid mirror completed and ready to hang without waiting for the Fix-All to fully cure overnight. And while I work on gluing down those wood pieces, comment down below with the word mirror and let me know if you have ever made a grid mirror before. And if so, how large did you make yours? When I'm done putting mine together, it will be about 30 inches by 30 inches once the entire thing is done, because each of my mirrors is perfectly square, coming in at 10 inches by 10 inches each. I'll show you later another grid mirror I made with rectangular Dollar Tree mirrors that ended up being over 6 feet tall. So notice how I still have some exposed seams with no wood pieces covering the seams. I ran out of the 4 by 4 wood tile, so I'm going to go into my stash and pull out a 12 by 12 inch wood plank I found at the dollar store. And I'm going to cut smaller strips from it to fit into the exposed seam areas. Here I'm just using a box cutter to cut the wood since the wood is not that thick. All I'm doing is scoring the wood using a ruler as a guide so I can get as straight of a cut as possible. Now I'll just use both hands to gently bend the wood back and forth and it will snap into two pieces. As you just saw, no power tools, fancy saws, or special tools were required to cut the wood planks. So here I'm going to go back in with the custom cut wood pieces. This will provide a much more secure hold so the mirrors will not come apart. Okay, we've got all the wood pieces secured and I actually decided to wait overnight before handling the mirror. So now let's go ahead and lift this to test how secure the mirrors are. You can see the mirrors are not buckling at all, so I think we're ready to hang this onto the wall. I decided to hang this grid mirror right on a wall by my foyer. It's actually positioned right above my chair rail. Now, what I want to mention is that if you can't find these same mirrors, don't worry, because you can pretty much use any square or rectangular mirrors available at your local dollar store to make a similar grid mirror. Dollar Tree has lots of rectangular mirrors to choose from. The only thing I would caution is the bigger your grid mirror is, the more likely you're going to want to secure the mirrors onto a piece of plywood instead of the method we use today. And here's the floor length grid mirror I mentioned earlier. I made this using 15 rectangular silver frame mirrors from the Dollar Tree. Each mirror I think was either 8 by 10 or 9 by 11, so much larger than the square ones we use today. I ended up framing the entire thing using some foam molding that I painted a metallic silver. Nothing fancy, I just used the Dollar Tree acrylic paint. I also added some bling wrap for an inner frame because I just love sparkle. And I'll just show you the back so you can see everything is secured to a very thick piece of plywood. I just used wood glue, Fix-All, and some hot glue to keep everything in place. I've actually had this mirror for almost 10 years now and it's still standing like new. So now you'll have a few different ideas on how to use dollar store mirrors and supplies to glam up your wall space. Comment down below with the word mirror and let me know which mirror from today's video you liked best. And if you enjoyed today's craft tutorial, please like and subscribe to my channel and share with other creative gems. Also remember to hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I have another DIY glam project on my channel.